So I'm going to show you a couple of tips, things that you're doing or doing wrong on your website, on your blog post that can help you to rank better. If you haven't read this blog post, it's rather long. There's a lot of information in here, but it does have some really good info on how to get your blog post ranked, but also for your pages. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to look at this page, and we've already removed all of the bold keywords. So I'm going to show you some things that you can do to improve this page. This is a buyer's page, and previously there was a bunch of keywords that were bolded, like this one, for instance, and this one, for instance. So we removed all of those to start with. Now, one of the things that, as I look at this, is we need to make sure that this is using proper capitalization. When you're pointing out words like Midtown, Atlanta, Georgia real estate, you want to make sure you're using proper capitalization, but also short sales and bank-owned properties. So Google is looking at this. It wants it to be readable and be natural content. So make sure you are doing that, even anywhere that you are. But if you're doing, for instance, your preferred vendors list like this, then you definitely want to take this and add a link and link into your preferred vendors list. Should have linked it right up. Okay, so you can link those in there. You want to have at least around 3 links in your content to other pages on your site. And you can also link to an authoritative site. So if there's a site that you can reference that is, a good reference for the content that you're talking about, I would link to it. Just make sure that you make that link open in a new tab, and so that you're not just sending somebody away from your site. So we're going to make sure, we're going to look at this and I'll show you what that means. Open link in new tab. So there's another option if you're editing regularly. So make sure that instead of linking just to your pages, you're also linking to outside sources as well, but they should be a high ranking, relevant site. So authoritative sites, not just any site, not just somebody's profile, your lender's profile or anything like that. Your lender's main site or a post on their website would be a good one. The other thing is using keywords to link to other pages on your site. So for instance, right here, Midtown Atlanta home would be a good place to link to the actual Midtown Atlanta homepage, or not homepage, but the homes for sale page. So if you change one of these to Midtown Atlanta condo, I would link that directly to the Midtown Atlanta condos page. You don't want to say home or condominium and have it linked to both. So they should be separated. So that's the other thing. Now, the other thing that is important about having a page like this is readability. A lot of people aren't going to sit here and read this. It looks like a lot of text all jumbled together, especially people with ADD or people in a hurry. They like to scan and they like to read quickly. So that's one of the things I wanted to show you about this blog post. Working in the F pattern, people read from left to right, and the further down they go, the shorter they read. And they also want bullet points. So if you look at my site, look at this blog post, it's actually formatted exactly as you should format something. I'm using headers in between my content. I'm using bullet points and lists 1 and 2. I'm only bolding the titles to the lists in certain places. I'm linking out to different places. My site, I'm using the keyword to link to it. It's all very useful information, organized well with titles above each section, and not big paragraphs of content that you have to read. And I also use graphics with big information to make it easy for them to get the information that they're on. So, and here's another one, the most shared headline study. That's going to link and open up into a very high ranking article. So that was my earlier point. But this gives you an idea of what you need to do. Internal links, blog images or images in your content, all of those things. And then the last thing is making sure on your page that you have a good meta title and meta description. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go to the back end. And you want to make sure that this right here, your meta title and your meta description are awesome. So see this title right here? That is way too much and way too long, and this doesn't even have anything to do with what we're doing. So the first thing that I would do is I would go to the Google Keyword Tool, which I have bookmarked somewhere in here. Let's see, there it is. It's basically Google AdWords. And I'm going to go over here to Tools, Keyword Planner. I'm just going to put a couple of keywords. Usually I'll put like 4 in there. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to look at the different, everything it says. Buying a home in Atlanta. There you go, 720 keyword average searches. It gives you information on it. And then you have other keywords in here that you can use throughout the text, but we're going to look and see if there's anything that is a question. These are all good keywords to make pages on your site, by the way. Let's see. These are all still just keywords. I wasn't really looking for keywords. I wanted something for the title, which that very first keyword was great. So these are all real keywords. So I would say that the biggest keyword right here is right here. And I would make this buy a home in Atlanta. Since it doesn't hurt to have something after it, I would put GA after it because there's lots of Atlantas. There's an Atlanta in Michigan, for example. And then I'm going to put a space, dash, space. I'm going to insert a variable, and I'm going to put the site title after it because that doesn't hurt. But here we go. Now, what I would do is having information about you right here in the front of this meta description, bad. People don't want to talk to the realtor. Sad, but it's true. So what I would do here is I would go ChatGPT, write a description for a page titled Buying a Home in Atlanta, GA, that will get the most click-throughs using the keyword buying a home in Atlanta. There we go. So let's now go back and put this in here. Now, expert tips, top neighborhoods, insider advice. That's what I would do. I would probably, a lot of people that are buying a home in Atlanta do want to know the neighborhoods. So that's one of the little bullet points you can add up here. So here's one as well. You have a crucial step in the home buying process important for 2 reasons. You should list those 2 reasons, number 1 and number 2. So those should be in there. And for, your list down here, quick look at Midtown Atlanta condominiums. That's where I would put some of the top Midtown Atlanta condo developments. So list them out instead of putting those exact links. Maybe put these at the bottom as, view all, but have a couple of lists of the specific neighborhoods or whatever it is. So that's a better meta description that somebody is going to click on. They're going to Google this word, they're going to see this right here, and they're going to basically click through. And that's what you want. You also may want to adjust the date. You might want to change the published date on this. And after you revise it, change it to today, because that's going to help that to be showing up in Google as fresh content. So there you go. Let me know if you have any questions.